Welcome to the verdict room. Pull up a seat. We're seeking the truth. Dropping in week after week. Yeah. Last 24, lay it out on the table. True crime experts peeling back every angle. Looking for answers, real exact. Pin the timeline, track by track. Bronx telling tales, she keeps us in line. Every little detail, every
All right, everybody. I'm so sorry. We've had a lot of technical issues. Welcome to the premiere of the verdict. What is going on? Okay, sorry. Welcome to the verdict room, guys. The premiere. I promise you, next time it'll be so much better than this. I'm trying to catch up with everything, so I'm just gonna go ahead and bring everybody up real quick, except for our special guest. I will introduce her and then bring her up. Welcome, Miss Logan with Bronx Tales.
Hello, happy Valentine's Day.
Same to you, Miss Kim with Typically Unique.
Hello, happy Valentine's Day.
Hi, Kim.
Opening the verdict room.
Yes.
I got an echo from somebody.
I'll mute mine real quick.
Mikey with the last 24. What's up, buddy?
Am I echoing?
There is an echo.
I'm not 100% sure.
It's you, Dago.
Oh. It's one of these.
Can you hear me?
Yep, now it's better.
Okay, I don't know. Sorry about all this tonight. And then
it's doing it again.
Still an echo.
It's Mike. It's Mike.
Let me try something here.
Do you have headphones or anything plugged in?
Mike is using.
I got headphones.
All right. Yeah, it's still echoing. All right, guys. Well, let me at least get her up here because I don't want. She's been back there too long. The special guest that we have tonight for our first show is from an awesome channel. She puts out amazing content. We've had her here before on the TruCrime Cafe. Her name is B. Her channel name is Booking with B. So please welcome her if you will as well. I hope she can hear me now. Finally,
I can hear now. I can finally hear. Happy Valentine's Day.
Same to you. I'm so sorry for all this.
No worries.
I had everything fall out on me all at one time. So my deepest apologies. I'm so sorry. All right. No echo. Somebody else
going?
Sounds good.
Yep. Sounds good.
Sweet.
All right. So this is the premiere show, by the way, too. It's the first show we've ever had. So you get to go through all the growing pains with us. So again, I don't know if you're familiar with Bronx Tales True Crime. Miss Logan here. Typically Unique, Miss Kim, and of course my producer Mikey, the last 24. I don't know if you've watched or seen any of these other these shows, so on and so forth, but this is a new thing we're trying where the four of us are going to be here and we're going to try to bring somebody on new every week, and you are our first ever guest. So
well, thank you so much. It's a pleasure.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure to have you here. And again, everybody, my apologies for all the technical issues. I am so sorry. This is so embarrassing. But everybody has growing pains. So come on in, grab a seat, get comfortable. And first off, how's everybody doing? And yes, again, happy Valentine's Day, everybody. I hope you're all having a great day. How has your day been thus far?
My day has been great. It's been pretty chill.
Awesome.
Same.
I got some cleaning done.
Yes, didn't do anything at all today. Very lovely.
I got to sleep in today. Haven't done anything. It's a great day.
Awesome.
There wasn't bathrooms.
I
hate cleaning bathrooms. Can't do bathrooms.
I agree with you.
It's a good Saturday, and I've been listening just while I've been working all the Nancy Guthrie updates.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, there's a lot of weird stuff going on there. We probably will get into that later in the second half of the show once we've gotten through with B here. We're going to jump into some of the talking points on the Idaho 4, I do believe, with the new WSU lawsuit, so on and so forth. You have been following that, I take it, B?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, okay, good. And for those of you, make sure, guys, we drop her link in the chat. I want everybody to hop over there. If you guys don't remember when she joined us at the regular show we have on the cafe, it's a couple months now, hasn't it been, since you were here last?
Yeah, I think it's been a little while before the holidays.
Before Christmas, I think. Yeah, that's what I thought. So, up to that point, we had discussed some of the stuff going on in WSU or in the Idaho 4 case, so on and so forth. Welcome everybody. Real quick, let me say hello to all the moderators. Thank you so much for joining us here. Within how many channels do we have linked in here? I'm looking. We have Typically Unique's channel.
Hello, everybody. I want to say hi to Brian, Christina, everybody watching real quick.
Yes.
Hello. Welcome in. Stuart. Hello.
Welcome, everybody. Too many of you guys to count down and say hello to specifically. So hello and welcome to all of you. I am super grateful for you guys to be here to watch all of my mishaps tonight. So thank you for that. We will make it right. Next show will be 100% on point, guys. I don't know what happened with this internet stuff. It was weird. I have brand new internet, never had a problem. All of a sudden, boom, just today of all days. So,
Of course, it always works that way.
yes. So, moving forward, I guess let's jump right into this because I know that B doesn't have a long time to be with us. So I guess let me ask you, from the last time we spoke, moving forward to this point, what are you seeing so far in Idaho that has caught your eye the most, I should say?
Probably all of the new articles that are coming out with the second perpetrator information, and it's just they're wild, and they keep getting wilder and wilder the more I see. And then also the new where the audio that we heard is they're trying to say that it's fake audio, and that has been one of the biggest things for me because that's the exact audio that they use to corroborate the timeline and Dylan's story.
Yes.
So I'm just a little bit confused how half can be fake and half can be real.
I'm right with you on that. Anybody here? Anything to go along with what she's saying?
Yeah, for sure. I think the articles they're putting out now is just to get, the general public or the guilters' ears used to hearing that before they come out with something new. And I have two people in mind that I think they're probably going to try and pin it on. Both are no longer living, so it's convenient.
Exactly.
That's something I was thinking too, as far as the convenience of the fact that a secondary perpetrator not being alive would be a very easy way to just throw it out and say, here it is, deal with it, bye. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
they're good at passing stuff down the line.
Oh, very much.
Yes.
So very much so, I agree.
It's curious that we have video of one of them stating a setup, though, that he was afraid, he was worried about this being pinned on him. Like, there's video of that.
Absolutely. That was I'm pretty sure that was the actual statement he made, word for word.
Yeah.
And we've been getting, because most of you guys know that I do an evening show along with Logan here over at Devil's Advocates now, and DA's working towards that. He just got everything. I don't know if you guys heard him say that night before last, but he just got it all, every bit of it. We already went through the videos and stuff. He got an entire file dump, all of it, and I'm like, holy shit. So.
And for those of you that don't know what we're referring to, it's Brent Kopacka. So that whole incident, and I started the vague talk. Sorry.
No, it's a good segue. I don't know, B, do you have any thoughts about Brent Kopacka as far as this case is concerned at all?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, did he have a connection to any of these people living in, you know what I mean? Like, there's never been any talk of him having any kind of connection or following them on social media or anything like that. So was it a completely random attack? Again, just a completely random attack on a house that you know nothing about? Or was this something that was much bigger than what we are being led to believe?
it would probably be easier to connect him to the real perpetrators and outside of that circle to be targeted as someone to pin it on, in my opinion.
Good way to put it. Good way to put it. I wondered, in my opinion, if Brent was attached to this, kind of like what B said, did he know any of the victims? Did he know anybody around the victims or any of that? The only thing I could ever find when we did look into this that brought him close to this situation at all was that at some point there was and don't fully quote me on this, just slightly, because I couldn't get any deeper than we did on it, but that it seems to be that there was an ex-girlfriend that lived at one point the 1112 address that was Brent Kobaka's ex-girlfriend, which I thought was kind of a little weird. You know what I mean? It's a little ironic. Does that mean that there's a connection? Probably not, but it's just weird, as is everything else in this case. So it made me wonder. So
how old was Brent?
What's that?
How old was Brent?
32.
Yeah. I was about to say that would be, isn't that considered off-campus housing?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Definitely. And say again, Mike.
Where Brent was?
No, the 1112 in the 1122 house, or 11. Yeah, those were all off-campus housing considered. But I can't remember if the white apartments were considered campus house. I think they are considered campus housing. And if you step that direction and go over in the Banfield area and all that stuff, that is campus. So literally one road over and you're off campus. So, but yeah, I can't think of her name. I think it was Carrie. I can't think of the last name right now, just only because of all the crap I just dealt with. My brain's a little scrambled, but she lived in that house at one point in time. She was listed, or not her, but her sister, I think it was, we figured, was listed as living in that house. Now, does that mean anything? Zagola? I think it was something like that. Yeah, Kylie, I think that's right.
Zagala.
That's it. Thank you, Kim. Could it mean anything? I don't know. I don't know at all. But it's weird that Brent made that statement in that the pre-situation that happened before the actual situation with him. So I always wondered if he was attached. I didn't really push that issue with any of my shows ever. I looked into him very shortly and briefly in the beginning, went through it, looked into him, looked into the connections, couldn't find any this, that. So I kind of moved past it. But most recently with this stuff coming out, it makes me wonder, could he have been somebody that was gonna be maybe a patsy, we'll say, for lack of better terms. I just wonder. So, but I am expecting now, I guess not to move too far forward, but you have been following the WSU lawsuit stuff, B?
Yes.
Okay, so what's your take on that thus far before we go anywhere with that?
Like on the idea of it?
Yeah, like what do you think the outcome? I should probably specify.
I mean, I think they're going to have to be very careful because this is going to set a precedence for every single person that has ever been harmed or killed by anyone that attended any college across the nation.
Yeah.
So there is something that they're going to have to tread lightly. I don't think that they can just turn around and give some massive payout, because then you're going to have everyone else that's like, well, I had a student at this college and now I can sue you as well. And I think it's very sticky.
Yeah, it's like, where does it stop? And to go into that, for me, like a lawsuit like that with them, I would think that the university has more money. So how could you even think that you're going to win, or are they just going to give you a payout?
I think they're just hoping for a payout, which at this point is looking also a little bit weird to me, right? That what's the payout for? We've already had GoFundMe's. We've had all of the money raised to get them back and forth. What is this money now for, this payout? So it just kind of puts a bad taste, I think, in your mouth.
And who drove it? Like, who started this? We've only heard from the G family and none of the rest of the family. So who's driving the start of this?
The G's, in my opinion, I think, at least. And I think that he got the Chapins on board because of where she lived to be able to file the complaint itself initially, in my opinion, and probably had Karen on board as well because with how they were throughout the rest of this. But I would guess that's my guess at least. Everybody else, I don't know.
I think it's funny that, the Chapins didn't really join in. Nobody really joined in as far as the family speaking out or anything like that. But as soon as it comes to dealing with, I might come into a whole lot of money, now they're on board. They're on board with Othram because that gives them quite a bit of money as well. So it looks icky to me. Like everything's just about money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
It's odd to me with Miss Chapin going to work for Othram. Like she's going to work for a company that deals with DNA. How much does she really care? If you're going to work for that and you look at the evidence, which they clearly haven't, the DNA I don't get it.
And here, let me add to that real quick, Mike, too. I feel like one of the things that bothers me, and again, before we say anything further, I know everybody in here, everybody on this panel, because I've heard what B's thoughts are on this as well as everybody else in here too, that everybody has compassion for their families, for their loss, guys. That every one of us does. We all absolutely have nothing but full compassion for the loss that they all
absolutely
100%.
But because we ask questions, that doesn't mean we don't feel for them. Understand that. But we have to ask questions to understand what the hell's going on in this crazy ass situation. So in turn, I don't want that mistaken by any means whatsoever from anybody. 1 second.
Well, they just don't like the questions we're asking because they think we're not supporting the families. But at the end of the day, that's exactly what we're trying to do, is get the truth out for the freaking families because they're not putting the work in that any of us have been putting in.
No.
Absolutely. Yeah, great point. Now, what was I trying to say? I lost my complete train of thought. My grandkids are over here in this other room back here, so please apologize any background noise.
Well, it's better than birds, but
yes, that's true. So, I completely lost the point that I was going to make with that. So my apologies. I guess we can just go forward from there.
But how do you guys really see that playing out though?
Which part of it? Kim?
Well, I mean, any big corporation, and that's what a university is. They have enough money, like I think Mike said, to just drag it on and on and on and on and on. Right? They'll wear out the other side. Usually, I think situations like that, like someone was saying, ends in a deal, right? But like B was saying, for what? If WSU isn't going to admit guilt, if they're not going to admit any culpability, then they're not going to pay anything. So are they just going to wear out the other side? Like, will the families give up? I don't know.
Yeah, because even if you're not admitting guilt, if you pay out, you're admitting guilt.
Exactly.
That's definitely how it looks to the general public too. And I think what's going to end up happening is either the G's are going to run out of money as it keeps going on longer and longer and longer, or WSU is going to just continue to say what they basically have said is, we took the complaints or whatever, and we did what we were supposed to do. We held up what we were supposed to do legally. We gave him a warning, and then he was ultimately fired. So we did take care of the problem on our end. There's nothing to sue about. He was an adult. This was out of state. We don't have any responsibility in that. He wasn't on the clock.
Yeah, it's like, how far can you really go with this? It's
Well, and if you think about the tumbleweed of this, right? Where does it stop? Universities, then you're going to have people's career, other places like your workplace. If you can sue a university because your child was potentially unalived by someone that went to that university, then you could also sue a company because someone worked there.
Thank you.
The day this lawsuit came out, I kept saying, I'm going to sue my neighbor's job because his dog barks at night.
Right.
Like, that's how it feels like to me.
And
think of all the hazing cases on campuses all over the country where there were deaths.
I mean, if that's the case, then let's go backwards a little bit. Maybe they could sue Idaho for Caden Young's death because he was going to school there when he overdosed on drugs. Or Hannah Cleary, her family can sue because she took her own life while she was a student at a university. I mean, this is ridiculous, guys. If we look at this in the broad spectrum of that, oh my God, it doesn't make any sense.
They could say, well, you didn't stop the bullying, right? Wasn't the
Yeah.
her
Yeah.
was like bullying you? Yeah. Where does that end?
I mean, if that's the case, like, and I hate to bring this up because it's a sore subject and it's a horrible thing, but all of the mass school shootings and things that have happened and so on and so forth, is that going to open a door for that to all go on? I mean, in some aspects, I feel that sure, certain things should be looked into and maybe lawsuits should be brought for certain things, but we cannot call who somebody's going to be just by like them being a part of our community or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you don't know that if you hire somebody, like Mike owns a business, okay, and he hires Joe Schmo off the street, he doesn't know. I mean, we do background checks and stuff like that. That's fine. That's dandy. But that doesn't tell you who somebody is mentally or emotionally. You can't look into that kind of stuff. So in that point, you know what I'm saying? Logically and theoretically, it's got to make sense to be able to do these things, you guys, or not.
What somebody does off the clock has nothing to do with their job, and they aren't responsible for that person, I feel like, off
Right.
the clock. So technically, I mean, or he wasn't in class, you know, nothing was talked about in class that day. They're not saying somebody brought up something specific and that's why he went and did it. That's not even what they're saying. You can't just hold somebody's school or job responsible for somebody's actions at 2:00 in the morning in a different state.
Right. And like one made a statement, like when one works, for those of you that are B, I don't know if you're familiar, but he's one of our community members, and he's also part of the panel over at Devil's Advocate. His name's 11. He's a New York City police officer, and he was talking last night about how big and vast NYPD is. It's massive, and they have people that lose it and do certain things they're not supposed to do all the time. They do background checks all the time. You just don't know what day that button's going to flip. You know what I mean? Or that switch is going to flip, or that button gets pushed. People are people. We're human beings. So I don't think that, and I think that needs to be brought to the table with this case, if anything. But the reason why I even brought this up is I'm kind of taking it in a different direction. But like I said, I think that's a big part of this. And it seems to be that you guys all agree as well. But I feel like something different is going to come from this. That's why I brought this up, this part of this up, relating to when the alternate perpetrator statement was made early on when we first started talking about Brent Kopaka and so on and so forth. I have a feeling that, I guess I'm kind of swaying into this, but I have a feeling that what this is going to do is this is going to open up doors for a whole different situation. Okay. The discovery is going to be brought out, obviously. And I think that, you know, it's already been stated that WSU is looking at making them like I can't, I don't know why I can't think right now the word I'm trying to say, making the other people that they're saying, different entities, different people that are more responsible for this. I'm sorry, you guys, I'm losing my mind right now. In turn, I think that's what they're going to be pointing at. When that happens, I think that could open up the door for a whole different investigation to be started for a different reason into something different with this, is what I was trying to say. Jesus, that was hard to get out. Sorry.
Because once they start going into like, okay, why were we actually liable for this kid that decided to go to school here?
Well, yeah. Here's the thing too, though, is all of the complaints they say that Brian Kohberger had, not one of them was violent.
No,
not one of them. And I think that makes a difference.
Not one of them was sexual harassment either. I mean, maybe he made some people feel uncomfortable, but I also wonder if WSU is going to, I mean, obviously they're going to have attorneys and things that are handling this case, if this is going to now open up a door for his diagnosis.
Very possible. Yep.
Absolutely. That's a very good point.
Behaviors, you mean, right? To explain
yes, that would explain the behaviors and explain like that for him, there's an explanation for maybe why he doesn't understand personal space, etc. All of the things that were kind of going on at the school, because like Logan said, none of the complaints were violent. none of them. He didn't put his hands on anybody. He didn't make any kind of awful sexual comments to anyone. Like there wasn't, it was pretty much like he doesn't know his boundaries and he's a hard grader.
Yeah.
That's it. That's really all.
Were they ever documented until this happened? Were they documented, any of the complaints?
I think, go ahead, B.
Oh, no, I was just going to say that's been one of my biggest questions as well. When were these complaints actually written up, and when did all of these complaints come to fruition? Was it after this happened that these people decided to say, well, this, and this? Or were these actual complaints that were made in real time?
See, and that's hard to find that. I've looked into that at some point because I complained about it. I think maybe minimal 1 or 2 complaints were made or talked about. Maybe just talked about, like between people. I don't think anything was ever actually filed through the school or any of that kind of stuff until after Brian was arrested or became a suspect. And then all of a sudden, poof, everything comes out of the woodwork because they forced it, I think. And here's a perfect example of an issue that I have with this. I covered the interview with, and please excuse me for saying his name wrong because I don't know how to say it. It was the Asian gentleman that worked with Brian.
Kai.
How do you say it? Kai? Is that
Kai.
it? Thank you, Logan. Anyway, he was a teaching assistant with Brian, he claims. Okay. He made a statement as he's explaining himself through this. If you could understand it, it's very hard to understand in some parts. And he said that Brian touched other students. That never happened. And so people are listening to this. And now, because of the way the propaganda train, as I call it, has ran this entire case, now that's going to be something new. Is anybody that watches this interview, now they're going to say Brian was physically touching people he wasn't supposed to. It's going to get stuck and people are going to run with it no matter what you say. And that's what's happened in this entire case. That's a problem. They should not allow for that stuff at all.
Well, and I also wonder if there's no record anywhere that anybody had like an actual sit down conversation with him and listed out all of these complaints and addressed each complaint with him directly. There's no so you were just getting slews and slews and slews of complaints, and you were doing not one conversation was had with him on why he was getting in trouble or why he was. That doesn't make any sense to me.
No, and they're denying this too, B. They've denied everything. So if they're denying this, they said it in their statement that there was no violation of Title IX, that there's an absolute denial of that. So if they have to have written proof that nobody violated Title IX, in my opinion. So if that's the case, they're backed up. So that means, like you said, that this was never filed, in my opinion, through the school against him because there's no proof of it if they haven't had that violation made. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Didn't they put him on a improvement plan?
It was like a probationary thing.
Yeah, they put him on an improvement plan, but I mean,
that's evidence of them. That's a document, and that's a Title IX official process. That's probably going to be WSU's evidence to say we followed through with the things we were supposed to do. And I wanted to ask you, B, didn't he show improvement after that plan?
Yes. I'm just curious if they went into detail with him about what was going on. Do you know what I mean? Were they actually addressing you get in people's personal space, you block doorways, you follow people to their cars.
Exactly.
Was that a conversation that was ever had, or was it people don't feel super, you know what I mean? It's just something that I've always been curious about, if that was actually a sit down with him because as well as with his diagnosis, a lot of times you have to be direct. You can't kind of skirt around things.
Yes.
So I'm just curious if that was something that was done or not.
Well, and there was talk not talk, but there were statements made within the documents that I saw that Brian may be deposed for this. I hope he is. And if they get a deposition from him and they say, did you have this conversation with, administration at WSU about this, and this? And he says, no, or yeah, there it is. And I think WSU knows this. Okay. I think they're probably going to subpoena Brian for the deposition, if anything else, so that he can tell them, hey, we went through this whole plan, and he got better with what he was doing. He understood everything, and he was moving forward through his probationary period, so on and so forth. At that point, that's when the eyes need to look in a different direction. And I think that's the direction WSU's taken this, because they're saying, and I can't think of the exact words again, but they're saying that the plaintiffs, the damage that the plaintiffs are suing for seems to be caused by other entities, so on and so forth. That's the most interesting part of this to me. And that's what I'm curious to see how they get to that at that point. I'm sorry, you guys.
Well, grading, or I'm sorry, the performance improvement plan could have also been, we sat down with you, or didn't, I don't know, but it could have strictly just been, we think you might be grading too harsh. We want to oversee the way you grade. It could have had nothing to do with any other complaint of any sort.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I see, here's my thing with this too. I have a child that is autistic. I have a child that is in your face. Okay. When he talks to you about, they're so social cues are very easily missed. I want to understand, like, if this was so bad as these reports that we read all through said that it was, why did nobody say anything? That's why I don't think it was. I think these people brought these things up after the fact. Like I said, oh yeah, I remember when he would get real close to me and talk to me. Okay, so what?
And this was all in what, 6 months?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
If
even.
that,
Not even.
Not even. A couple months.
And to me, a person like him, it would probably take him 2 months to get somewhat settled and even feel comfortable before you'd even start doing any of this. I don't know.
13 complaints is a lot for anybody at any job.
That's a
So
lot.
Yes.
I feel like that it's not true, maybe, that there were that many.
I don't think there
Well,
was.
Because why would you wait? If 13 complaints, you would be past, hey, we need an improvement plan.
Yeah, it's like
For sure.
there
I
was
mean-
zero reprimand for anything, right? If I'm not
Yeah, you don't wait until you
No.
get up to 13 and then say, okay, well, let's have an improvement plan. And then you're going to lose your job. Like, that's so many.
So take that into account. Sorry, Kim, go.
Just real quick, the only thing I would chime in about that is I'm a former teacher, and the education system works differently than the real world.
Well, that's good to know, because I didn't know that.
Yeah, in my experience.
So would 13 complaints, you think, be normal, or?
Yeah, I think sometimes things get, probably the first 5, and it depends what they are. Like, we're guessing on, what they are, but they don't always follow through with things. They want to handle things in house. They don't want things to look bad. I mean, just all of that.
Well, I wonder if they're running under it's cheaper to keep her.
Yeah, right. No, 100%. I get what you're saying. And here's the thing too. And this is, college is way different than like high school and all that other stuff.
Yeah,
Understood,
true.
but 3 months, not even probably a full 3 months. I think the quarter starts at the very end of August, beginning September, October, and then midway through November. 13 complaints and 2.
Is Brian Koberger being blamed or looked at as a student or as a TA in these complaints? Like, I would think you would address them differently.
Probably the TA, because of his position as a TA. I would go with, like, over the student thing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Well, and I would also wonder if it would be a little bit different, because wasn't he going, like, this was paying for his tuition?
Yeah.
I do believe this,
the
man.
position that he was in was paying his tuition.
Yeah.
So it also seems odd that you would let that many complaints build up.
Yeah.
When someone's going to school for free based on their ability to do said job.
And
it just seems like that process, okay, this isn't working. Like, you can't be a teacher's assistant anymore.
Sure.
You have to just be a student.
And it goes down the line, like, who didn't catch this?
And that's what doesn't make sense, because this is stuff that there's people that have, their job is to just watch this stuff, to pay attention to this stuff, to deal with this stuff in HR or whatever. That's their only job. So I can't imagine that it was allowed to go by at all. And especially, a TA's position, Kim, I'm sure you can correct me if I'm wrong about this, but a TA's position is looked at just as much as a professor or a teacher's position because that's what you do, right or wrong.
Yeah, like a leader, at the least a leadership position, but yeah, it's not an official professor, but yeah, you act just like them. You take on the roles just like that. Yeah.
And they're considered an employee. So that's like with any job, you cannot allow, in my opinion. So, I mean,
I almost wonder if this will backfire and prove that WSU, out of all of this, didn't handle his disability the right way. Like universities now have, like, because of that IDEA law and like the special education requirements and things like that, you have to make accommodations for people. They have resources and special accommodations and things like that. So what if that comes out of all of this?
Why would they want to pay for him if he really was that bad? Like, obviously, they had to evaluate his whatever.
Well, not to mention, were you done, Mike? I don't want to
Yeah. That was a whole different.
Well, I'm sure if Brian was diagnosed when he was younger, they said, okay, that I saw that he more than likely at some point may have been on a 504 plan or an IEP program, any of those things which follow you all the way through college as well. Okay. His mother being a teacher, I would imagine she would look into those things if he's diagnosed and realizes there might be some issues here going on that we need to help him with at a young age. So if that's the case, then what you guys said there, they need to accommodate him, probably within the job as well as being a student. So I would imagine. I don't know if the IEP follows the job part of it, but at least the student side to it. You know what I mean? And I don't know.
There is a difference. You're right. Yep.
Right. I don't know if he had one for sure. Okay. But I know when my son was diagnosed, he went to a 504 plan, or not a 504. What the hell is that called? It comes before the IEP.
Yeah, it's a 504 plan.
Is it 504? Okay. And then once the IEP was pushed, because they fought it, of course, he got it. They said this will carry him all the college, everything he does in his life. So his mom being a teacher makes me feel like you're not going to not take advantage of that, knowing that your son any of your children have the possibility of struggling, period. So I just wonder about that. And I wonder if that's going to get brought to the table as well, if it's there. So,
yeah. I've also wondered if his diagnosis was going to come into play far more now that this lawsuit is in effect.
I think it should. Because I feel like, and I've screamed this on my channel regularly, that I feel like a lot of this is like bullying. I mean, literally, it seems like they're bullying an autistic person. That's how I see it. That's why it makes me so mad. Because you don't understand him doesn't mean that the rest of the world doesn't, and you're just being ignorant towards him. The things you're saying, the way you're acting, the comments you've made, and the way you probably made him feel on top of that is just it doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't. Which again, in turn, if all of this stuff's true, take this into account too. Are
you there? Oh.
Yeah, sorry. If that's the case, like, if Brian did this, why didn't he flip out and go after those people then over in Washington?
Yeah.
I mean, would that or would that not make any more sense than what we're looking at here today?
Nope. It was sexually driven, Dago.
Yeah.
Did you miss the memo?
As we listened to the last interview, he wanted a girlfriend, Dago.
Right.
He wanted to find a girlfriend.
Yeah, he wanted a girlfriend. Exactly.
So he thought going into a house with potentially 10 to 15 people in it was the exact way.
It could have been any amount of guys could have been in that house. Since it was so random.
There should have been 50, 60, 100 people in that house.
A house that's all lit up and there's 5 cars in the parking lot. That could have been a frat house for all he knew.
And you've been there for how many months? We're gonna do this? Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's like practically a dead end road. Like there's no way out. There's one way in, one way out.
You're trapped.
It's ridiculous.
You know nobody.
Mm-hmm.
And when you look at the landscape of everything and you realize just how close everything was, people seem to think that these apartments were like this stuff was all just crammed like right in together. So the visibility was
Yeah.
very high on that house.
And you know what? That's it. In saying that, whoever pulled this off, imagine how ballsy they had to be to go in there and do that with all of those people around in that area.
Yeah.
Knowing that, oh, is somebody going to hear this? Da 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 da. That's a lot.
Well, and with a lot of the new, not new, but audio stuff that we're re-listening to now, I find it interesting when some people are saying, well, those could just be party noises outside. Okay, that's fine. So then you're trying to tell me that Brian Koberger went into a house with all the lights on, with all these people standing outside singing and having a party outside then?
Knock,
Because you
knock,
can't have
mother
it both
trucker.
ways.
That's a really good point. I never even thought about the fact that if it was parties going on, people would be outside. They wouldn't
They
just
sound
be in,
outside.
they
Right.
wouldn't be inside of a home. They're going to be trickling out, smoking cigarettes. They're going to be doing all of those things. So
And,
that's a very, very good point. And he just
So
worked his way
Huge.
through the crowd and just went right in.
yeah. I mean, either these people are inside and it is something nefarious going on, or it's party people and they're outside and he's doing this with all these people outside and all these big parties going on with all these noises.
But
Either
don't forget,
way.
Logan, he circled around a couple times.
Oh, that's right.
See,
That's right.
he had a
Yes.
plan.
Oh, was it before or after the fog lights were clipped on or clipped off?
Well,
Oh, yeah. Was it before or after the bug guard got put on and then
Right,
taken off?
right.
And
All
then
of
I
put
the-
think
back
it was
on?
just before he almost hit somebody when speeding away from the house.
Yeah, that too. That too. Absolutely.
Wait, you mean we have a witness?
Oh, yeah. Where's
Or
that
the car?
person?
Never
you.
heard from
Birthday.
that person, have we? Have we heard from that person?
Not one
Never.
time.
No.
In talking on him circling, remember when Linda Lane video first came out, Dago? And we listened to that car that tried to get up that incline.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And they were spinning trying to get up there. But no. Brian Koberger just took his little Elantra and got up that incline that was probably obviously icy.
There was some snow and ice on the ground still from the 2 days and so on and so forth before that. So, yeah.
That's
There's too many things within this. They're just stupid. And we're just, what our job to do was just to go, oh, that's what happened. Okay.
Yeah.
I believe you. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Can I have another? You know what I mean? It's just, it's stupid. It's ridiculous.
They counted on that's what always happens usually, and that they counted on that.
Well, what they didn't count on is all of us carrying as much as we have. That's what they didn't count on, I don't think. And at this point now, you know what I mean?
And it makes me wonder too, like, is that the reason for all the fumbling, like with the FOIAs and this and that? To me, as this went on, there was gaps in time because they were still trying to figure out how they were going to put this all together and serve it back to, I'm going to say, the public. So they didn't think all us jack monkeys were going to look into this after the fact. And it just keeps going and going and going.
Well,
Yeah.
I think they thought we were all going to look at it and say, oh, this is a bad situation. And then say, okay, accept it and move on. I don't think anybody thought we would go anywhere near as far in depth into this as we have. So that's where I think the problem lies with that. Guys, if you guys don't mind, keep on talking. I have to do something. I'll be right back.
Well, I found 2 interviews that I pulled up a couple weeks ago. One was from the owner CEO of Othram, and one was a director at Othram. And both of them were saying that the DNA was collected from the snap, the button snap. You mean you don't even know where your sample came from or anything about it? Both of you are saying the snap, and now it's the strap? Interesting.
That's all we ever heard. I mean, we spent months talking about brass and how long skin cells can last on brass. And I mean, what does a snap mean? Where's the snap part of a button? I mean, it was crazy.
UC Davis, who is kind of the end all be all, that's where everybody sends stuff to the lab to be lab whatever. So UC Davis did this experiment, and what it was basically how long would this amount of DNA, the same amount they found, how long would it last on the snap, and blah 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 blah. And then they did the whole experiment of how much of somebody's DNA would be on the sheath from them primarily touching it, or a secondary transfer. They did it over and over and over, and the amount of Brian Koberger's DNA found on the knife sheath was less than that of a secondary transfer. But even UC Davis was doing the experiments on the snap.
Yep. I saw that. I saw that
much it's been
experiment
said.
you're talking about. That was fascinating the way they did that.
That really was excellent.
Yeah.
I refer back to that every time.
Also, think about using a snap. How you have to press the snap, pull the snap apart, right? If you're snapping something, and you're gonna tell me that you left one skin cell.
Yeah, just there.
Even though you like the act of unsnapping a sheath button is going to put pressure on your finger, and you're going to have to, really unsnap it.
Oh, there should have been way more DNA on there. Way more.
If it was in the button, right, in the snap, in the little edges or whatever, then you should have had way more in there than just one little tiny skin cell.
Well, and I think they tried to tell us he bought it in Pennsylvania. You mean he moved it all the way out to Pullman? So in the process of moving this, wouldn't it have been mixed in with all of his other belongings and have tons of DNA on it?
Yeah.
Very valid point. And then, like even when they went back to his apartment and whatever and went through that, there's no way. There would have been traces no matter how clean somebody could be. It's impossible.
Well, they said there was direct and indirect evidence of a cleanup. You mean to tell me that they spent time cleaning up, but yet missed that they left their whole sheath that they would have felt being pulled off somehow? They're made to not be pulled off, so I don't know. And they were just like, I'll just leave it behind, even though I cleaned up some other stuff.
I don't know whose check and spiraling came from, but thank you for that super sticker to whoever it goes to. Very much appreciated and very generous and gracious of you, and God bless.
Well, and also, what would he have done with his knife when it was unsheathed? He would have just been carrying it around inside the house and leaving the house with this extremely, extremely sharp knife with nothing on it, no protection. And we cleaned up. So we at some point set the knife down, or did we clean up the house while we held the knife the whole time?
Thank you. Good point. Very good point. And that you don't hear anybody talk about that. It's almost like when they created this, because that's what I call it, that they created this situation, they didn't think about the important parts of like things like what you just said, or the other little details that go along with this before they created this situation. And now those are the things that every one of us is pointing out. So in turn, they are now trying to cover that.
One person. Yep. You're not going to put that knife sheath into your belt. You're just going to like stick it in your pocket and roll into this place. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Who wouldn't put that on a belt loop or on like even in their pocket for that matter? That just doesn't make sense because like we said 3 years ago when we talked about this, you need two hands to attack somebody, in my opinion. Okay. And you need one hand to control the situation and one hand to use the weapon. Yeah. So why would anybody want to walk in there with a knife sheath in your hand as well? It just doesn't make any sense.
Well, and you were walking into a house that you were unaware. So if you didn't know who was inside, wouldn't you already have your knife unsheathed and ready to go?
Yes, ma'am.
Because why would you walk into a home empty-handed and then have to fumble around trying to get your knife out of its sheath with its snap?
Mm-hmm.
And a knife sheath goes on a belt on a person, and there was no. I mean, did his belt fall off as well, or?
Right.
He must have been going too fast, B.
And you're not
like. It's almost impossible for a knife sheath to just fall off if he had that knife sheath properly put on his body.
Exactly. I'm going to tell you, I believe that it is impossible. And I've showed this before many times, but this isn't the exact same one, but it's made out of the same material. Okay. But you're not going to tear this. You're not going to pull this. This isn't going to rip or tear or pop off. This loop's not going to break. None of that kind of stuff can happen with these things. They're made like to withstand everything. Okay. So 100%, you're going to walk into a house like this, carrying a knife and a knife sheath and going to attack people. I'll never believe that.
With all that damage.
I'll just never get over the no DNA in his car whatsoever. That's just, I don't care what you do to prepare. That's just impossible.
Yeah. I mean, they ripped it down to the metal, down to the studs, and people are like, well, he could have cleaned it. Well, you can't clean down to the metal in your car. Like, I mean, even if you have a professional auto service come, they take the seats out, but they don't clean down to the metal in your car.
Right.
They tore apart the turn signal switch and the headlight switches and all that stuff too. Brian Koberger does not know how to tear apart a car like that. I'll tell you right now, and put it back together the exact right way and clean every single inch of it. Like, that's insane.
That car, the evidence in the car was supposed to be the turning point with the two communities, people that were suspicious that they have the wrong person and the people that were like, he's the right guy. Everybody was like, when that comes out, when the results of that car comes out, it's going to determine, and everybody stuck to their guns, even with no blood in the car.
Because there were
evidence, I should say.
I remember being contacted and saying, well, maybe you were right, and then the next day that person went right on back to their same narrative and figured a way to get around it.
Yeah,
it doesn't make any sense.
I even heard your favorite Nancy Grace today talking about on her show. She was talking about the Nancy Guthrie case, but she was talking about evidence in the car, and there's no way that there couldn't be evidence in that car. And I thought, oh my gosh, but you'll say the complete opposite when it comes to Brian Koberger.
Of course. Well, you heard, like, okay, since we're getting in that direction now too, since Howard Bloom came forward and made his statement, as I proclaimed, like, multiple people are following right behind, and they're making the same statements now that, well, maybe Brian didn't do it on his own. And I feel like at some point this is going to go to somebody helped Brian, to where people are finally going to say, I don't think he did it at all. Okay. And it's going to take time, I think, but at some point that's going to happen.
I agree with you.
I truly do feel that way. It's just going to take some time. But these reporters, such as, I hate even saying their names, Ashley Banfield and Nancy Disgrace. I can't help myself there. But and all these other reporters that they're sticking to this narrative story. What are they going to do when this all comes down to the line? And they're the only ones left that haven't admitted to this.
Yeah. They're just going to shut up and go the other way. As much as they still continue to run their mouth and bring up, well, Brian, in other cases, well, Brian Koberger did this in that case.
Well, every single guilter out there, their theory or what they think is exactly what mainstream media says, one incel that whatever. So I'm very curious how every last one of them feel now that they're trying to insinuate that there was at least one other person. Well, then your entire theory is down the toilet. So
they're so bullshit headstrong, and they're just going, oh, it's just, they're spinning this again, those YouTubers.
Well, and now multiple weapons as well. So he carried in not only a sheath, he carried in a knife, he carried in a secondary weapon, all just gathered up in his hands. Like, I'm confused. How does one bring all of those things in, then clean up, forget one of the items, but he had to set all the other items down as well to pose and clean up, like, because we also posed the victims now too. So
no footprints,
and you had to set down all of your gaggle of weapons that you brought in.
Yes.
And he went over to the first floor steps for some reason because there's splatter over there. So, and supposedly he just went in and out up to the third floor, over to Xana's room, and then out. Then how does that?
Well, how did Kaylee's blood get on the pong table? Right. How did Kaylee's blood get on the pong table and the half wall and down on the stairwell? And how did this blood get here and there? Since they were completely all asleep when he did this, and he's got 8 arms and he's a ninja. So,
and all the trauma injuries, let alone the stabbing you know, how many times they were stabbed. That's a lot of work. That's a lot of work.
For one
And
person.
you know, every single agency said, well, basically in a nutshell, that there was another weapon. They just don't know what it was. It wasn't anybody punching anybody. It was definitely a sharp or a blunt force object. Okay, then why didn't you ever look for one? You know, the same thing they went in and did in Nancy Guthrie's house to find the height of the attacker, they could have done in this case as well. And they didn't.
Absolutely.
Yes, it's
Good
always
call.
bothered me that they just skipped right over the fact that there were injuries that were indicative of some sort of object, and they were just like, we don't know what it was.
Yeah.
I heard some
But we
wet.
know there was a knife, so we'll just
We
talk about
know,
only that.
but it wasn't tactical gloves. We know that for sure. Well,
Right.
guys, what was it? Where was the investigation into what it was? Was it a golf club? Was it like
Yeah.
where a police baton? Like what?
And-
Where
and-
we
right.
just stopped there and we were just like, oh, too bad.
Conveniently, they haven't put that part out.
They go, oh, he did it with the freaking the hilt of the knife. Or the,
Oh, and he didn't cut himself while he
Right.
was using the knife in the opposite direction.
Thank you. Especially with the force you'd have to use to go at somebody like that, your hand's going to come down and you cut your damn hand off, guys. I mean, come on.
Well, and you have to, unfortunately, this is a little bit gruesome, but things were already quite messy. So you also have to think about the knife not being like it's going to be slippery, I would imagine.
1,000,000%. Very, very slippery. And like I said, the little details that would go along with something like this, they just said, well, now what do we tell them about this? What do we tell them about that? What do we tell them about this? How did this happen? How did that happen? We didn't think of any of that stuff because they didn't expect, like we said earlier, for any of us to look into this the way we have. So I'd be honest. Hold on, guys. I'm trying to keep up with this stuff too. Hangman's Joke, thank you so much for that. Whoever that went to for that super sticker and the one beforehand, my friend. Can you guys tell whose chats these are in? Because I can't
Thanks,
see.
Carol. I appreciate the $4.99 and Bianca for all of
Hangman's
the
Joke.
memberships. Love the Turtles. Conspiraling, thank you. And on top X, I appreciate all of you.
Oh, is that you, Logan? Okay. Good stuff. Good stuff. Sorry, I'm trying to keep up with them. I just now saw that I missed a few, so my apologies, you guys. I did throw up a poll a little bit ago. I didn't say anything about it. I probably should have, but I was still so discombobulated from earlier. But it was just a very quick, simple yes, no, I don't know answer to is the WSU lawsuit a big money grab? Because I've been told that by many, many people. So the answer to this one, guys, was 76. We okay?
Oh yeah, my camera flopped over to the other side.
Okay, sorry.
I mean, no.
76% said yes. 13% said I don't know, and 11% said no. So most of the people in these four communities, or five communities. How many people we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 communities in here probably think that this is a big money grab, as do I, unfortunately. Until they prove me different, I do. So moving back to where we were at, though, I'm very curious now to see how I think that they're going to be looking for alternate suspects on this, in my opinion. Thank you very much, Kelbella. Supporting the truth seekers, no matter whose channel, to all. Amen to that one. Yes, I don't know where that came from, but thank you to whoever it goes to. God bless. Very much appreciated. Peter Sky Parker, thank you. The super chat is pretty much from Logan's chat. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Peter. Appreciate you.
Pretty much. That's super nice of you, Peter.
Pretty much.
Super nice, my friend. Ms. Potts says WSU isn't going to pay a dime. They'll blow the lid off before they're deemed responsible. Oh, I agree with you wholeheartly, Annie. Because I know in the beginning of this, guys, when this first came out, and the question was, is it going to get thrown out? Are they going to settle out of court, or are they going to take this for the full ride all the way through? I'll be honest with you. In the very beginning, I thought it was going to be either it was going to be tossed before it even got to court, or it was going to be settled out of court. I don't think that's happening in either option at all now. I think this is going to be driven the whole way home.
When it first came out, I said, oh my gosh, how crazy would it be? I know it's a stretch and a reach, but how crazy would it be if WSU was like, oh, F that, and took their criminal department and they were like, we'll use this as a teaching point and an experiment and prove that Brian Koberger didn't do it.
Good point.
That's crazy. In my opinion, if it wasn't a money grab, then we would have seen parents questioning the perpetrator. Like they would be questioning that it wasn't Brian or that he wasn't alone. Like there would be more questioning of that. And there were like, if they were, the other reason would just be to try to get the truth, right? In some form. Yeah. Sometimes you have to do that by going to court.
I don't think they're after that one.
No.
No, it's a good point. By the way, before I forget, I wanted to ask B and the rest of you, of course, a couple of us have talked about this already, but what do you think about the new law that Olivia Stevenson has had passed through legislation now about not being, if you did know about it, I don't know, but about not being able to view crime scene photographs that have bodies in them now. Have you heard or seen anything about that, B?
I saw something briefly about it. I was a little bit confused if it was crime scene photos or coroner's reports, which I guess maybe go hand in hand. But I mean, I think that based off of, and I've said this from the beginning, if you are going to censor crime scene photos, then you have to censor them all. You cannot just censor them for one group. I don't understand the whole, only these photos need to be censored, but we can put other people on blasts and their families have to look at all of this. There's, documentaries and things where they're showing full-blown bodies unblurred.
Mm-hmm.
So I do think that if this is going to be the new thing, it has to be across the board. You can't just pick and choose, because then you lose faith and you lose trust in your law enforcement, right? Because we can obviously tell that you're picking and choosing what you want to release and what you don't want to release. And then that makes people wonder why.
Yeah, I agree with you.
At this point, we have to just go with the trust me, bro. If we can't see anything, then we can only go off of what they're saying, which means they can say whatever they want.
Yeah. That law, that was like US wide? Or that was just,
that's state. I think it's within just the state of Idaho, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think it was just Idaho, but still, I think that also, then who holds people accountable? If you can just have these photos and they're locked away and no one ever sees them, then where is the accountability? How do we even know you processed the scene correctly at all?
Thank you. And that what I'm worried about with this too is that it could set precedents for, first off, everybody seeing this in other states and following suit with this and doing the same thing. Second off, if that goes through that way, how many other things are they going to try to push through now that are going to take every bit of our rights away from us to be able to look into these things, to be able to say, hey, I'm not 100% comfortable with this crime scene or how this was worked or whatever. I'm going to look into this. And if they're not allowing us to do that, we're just supposed to take their word and say, okay, I trust you, bro. No problem. I can't do that. I'm sorry.
I bet anything that Olivia Stevenson is going to take this law now that she just got and go a step further and say, well, now you can't show any of their blood either because it belongs to them.
That was going to be my next statement. Thank you, Logan, because she's going to continue doing this, in my opinion. No, don't say sorry. I'm glad you said that. And it's going to keep going and going and going. It's bullshit. I'm sorry.
How does that happen?
I don't think we need to see the bodies, but we deserve that coroner's report. I don't need to see the pictures of the bodies, but we need the information, stomach contents, you know, all the testing that they do, wound sizes, and I said coroner, medical examiner is what I meant. The medical examiner should be measuring like every single wound and determining what made that wound, what matches that wound. We need that information.
Yeah, I agree.
The investigators should have that information. Well, I know they do. It's got to be somewhere, but there should be reports about it too that we should have access to.
And I think, well, like you brought up the stomach contents thing. Why haven't we seen that? it's almost like they're purposely holding that back. They gave us some generic grid version of what happened with the autopsy, but we've never actually gotten a full autopsy report. And like I said, I don't have to see the body. Just put up the diagrams like they do with everything else I've ever seen, where they show the stick figure with the wounds, the injuries. They give you the details of what was with the stomach contents, this, that, everything else. Like every other case I've ever looked at, except this one, they're refusing to give that. And it makes me wonder, is there a reason why? Because they do know what we know and that what we know how to do. And are they withholding that one on purpose? Because that will tell its own story, in my opinion. If there's not certain stomach contents in the victims as there should be, guess, and same with the toxicology, the true to form toxicology reports. Okay, because I still question those. Truly.
Yeah, I feel like some of those levels are a little on the high side. That's a lot of
the alcohol levels specifically are very high for Maddie and Ethan. I agree.
That's wasted.
I mean, I can see it happening because they're college kids, but like some of the other things, like certain things don't match up to me is all I'm saying.
Well, Ethan's alcohol level was actually lower than Xana's.
But
Significantly lower.
Yeah.
The methane, whatever
the
amphetamines
was crazy high.
Yeah, but Steve, from my understanding, that the numbers for those, like the methamphetamine, I think that, and please anybody correct me if I'm wrong with this, the higher it is, the lower the amount that's in the system. Is that how that works with that, or is it the opposite of that?
No, I believe that when I was looking into, because I did a whole diagram and a chart, and then I put those levels into Google to see like exactly what the levels meant, and they were not, like Ethan's level seems high, but it was actually lower than what a typical Adderall dose would have put your level at, which would make sense because it was later in the night. It had been probably wearing off, at least at some point. We don't know how early they took the Adderall. No one ever pinpointed exactly the time. They just said that they did it.
Does alcohol dilute that stuff too?
I don't think that it dilutes it, but it was still present, and it was still present at a level that was indicative of them taking it.
And I do know that at least from something I read, that whether it's urine or blood, there's a difference between the two.
Yes, I believe so.
One of them doesn't work as well as the other, or something like that, from what I read.
It's also not usually typical that on a deceased person they would do a urine sample. It's usually blood too.
Right. I mean, they can pull urine from the bladder. That I've heard of being done before, but she just said it. I figures Annie would have the answer to that. The test results depend on if it's blood, urine, or liver tissue. Testing report doesn't say what. Right. Okay. Well, thank you, Annie. I appreciate that. But I knew I read something about that. So going forward, you guys, how do you see, I guess, what could you see happening with, if this is going forward the way we see it, the discovery being introduced for the case, and what could happen in this aspect if they open these doors up for this situation to pan out in a way that, do you guys think it could affect Brian Koberger's side to this? That's what I'm trying to ask, I guess.
I do, because I don't feel that, especially as where we're at right now, I don't think the university's going to give up. They're going to try and figure out why the liability. Why are they liable? And the attorney's face, that when they were brought this lawsuit, I'd love to have seen the attorney's face. We're going to do what? We're going to sue the university for,
I agree.
But,
I think they're going to take some of this, like, let's say WSU does fight and they win, then I guess I'm just hoping and speculating more so that Brian Koberger will then take that and use that under his belt. Like, see this, and use that in his favor.
Yeah.
It's a good point. It's a good point. Miss Kim, any thoughts on that at all?
I didn't hear how you worded the question.
I just wondered, like, with what's going forward from here. I mean, we can play off of this as well, but like with what's probably going to end up happening, do you think with the lawsuit that it could affect Brian Koberger's side to this case at all?
Ooh, well, it depends on what comes out. Like, I agree with that. You know,
Absolutely.
evidence that he needs, especially if he gets his hands on cell data or any of that he needed to try to prove his whereabouts or anything like that.
Right. And Ms. Potts says WAAG office is fighting in federal court, and they do not plan to lose, in my opinion. And I agree with her on that one too, because this is a federal level. Like, there's no joke here. This, when I saw that it was shut down on the state level and sent directly to federal, that told me right there pretty much like this is going all the way. I think
if they were going to fold, it wouldn't have went to
yeah.
I think my big question though, and I let me know if I already said this earlier, is will it only stay basic? Like all WSU has to do is just say, we followed all the Title IX stuff and that's it. That's all we have to prove. We're not culpable, like London was saying earlier, for what someone does at 2:00 in the morning on their personal time. We followed our laws. So if it just stays at that level, then I don't think all that other evidence of the crime is going to come into it.
But if they're looking to put blame on other entities, as it's stated in that statement that they made, I imagine, see, that's what I'm looking at, is I believe that they're going to, first off, they're going to throw blame at Moscow Police, Idaho State University, probably Lake Park County. Okay, those things, I do believe that they're going to go there. But at the same time, I think the way it was presented, what I saw was that they may be saying, I think it was the Custody Queens did this, which they're going to be joining us Tuesday. We'll probably talk about that this coming Tuesday, but they said something along the lines like WSU is not denying that Brian could have done this, but at the same time, they're saying they're using that angle with it, saying, but he didn't do it alone. So who are those other people? That's who you guys need to be looking at that caused these damages to you, and maybe suing them as well, so on and so forth, is what I believe this is the direction it's going.
I see. So they've already addressed that in their suit. So they are going to go down that route. Okay, good.
That's what it seems. I don't know. B, did you see any of that and have any thoughts on that at all?
I mean, I think I can kind of see from both aspects. I can see where Kim is coming from. Where is this just going to be kind of open and closed? Like where, it is just, we did exactly what we needed to do and we are not liable for what happened outside of this university. But I can also see where this could definitely open up some other issues and things that could arise where we could be like, okay, where it does kind of fall in, based on the Idaho case a little bit.
Sure. Absolutely. I agree with you. And I know we're coming down to the line on the time we've had you for, and it's probably my fault because I didn't get in here the time I wanted to, but I really appreciate you joining us today. I'm definitely looking forward to having you join us again, if you would.
Yes, of course.
I'd like to hear more thoughts. And of course, as this goes forward, definitely would like to see what your thoughts are down the line as this progresses and gets more into this situation with Idaho.
Yes. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Anything, any last thoughts you have before you leave us today?
My only last thought was also I saw something where the FOIA request had been denied to find out the contact that was entered into Dylan's phone.
There's a lot I'm glad you brought that up. Thank you for that. That's crazy to me. That is crazy to me. Anybody else have any thoughts on that before she leaves?
I think they're denying. I put in a bajillion FOIAs. I think they're denying anything for any of the people that are still alive that aren't close to the case in any way, shape, or form. And it's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen.
Agreed.
Yeah, if that information is in the docs, you should be able to request the evidence.
Yes.
The evidence.
It's literally in the phone records where it says added contact at 3:51. They released all of that. So then why are you going to deny the contact?
We should be able to see the phone records.
I agree. I mean, I want to see everybody's phone records, to be honest with you. I would love to see the conversations between Dylan and her parents or whoever she talked to. Definitely want to see what Bethany's conversation was with her parents with all those phone calls. And I definitely want to see if there's conversations between any of the two roommates and any of those people in that circle that were involved in that as well. Truly.
Like,
Yeah.
normal to be able to see that. Not a
Right.
special request to be able to see the evidence of a case, especially a closed case. They should just release everything.
Yeah. Well, and something else I thought of as well is we have this whole, I'm diving into something when I don't have much time left, but we have this whole where no one knows where Ethan and Xana were, right?
Yeah.
But if we had all those phone records, do we
Yep.
not think that potentially Ethan or Xana contacted anybody that was living in that house and was like, hey, we're on our way home. What are you guys doing? Are you still up? Are you partying? Are you here? Are you there? We're leaving said party. But we don't have any of that. So how would we know? It seems like there's this huge bubble around Ethan and Xana that
Yes.
no one
Mhm.
wants anybody to know where they were, what time they got home, who they were communicating with, none of that. And there's phone records between him and oh my God, I just drew a blank on his name. The guy that found them, Hunter.
Oh, yeah.
There's
Hunter,
phone records between him and Hunter that show that he told Hunter that they were leaving at like 2 something in the morning to go home. So if he was telling Hunter, who doesn't even live at the King Road house, is it possible that he was texting or Xana was texting anybody and letting them know they were on their way, which would completely blow out of the water no one knowing where they are?
Bingo. Bingo. That's
I want to know why the Ford Explorer car key is hanging up in the house. The Ford Explorer is there, but then who drive it, went in, hung up the keys, saw what the heck happened, and left on foot or got picked up?
good
'Cause they're not
question.
there anymore. Ethan's not driving both vehicles, and he had the Jeep keys.
Very good question, Logan. God, you guys are getting it tonight for real. And same with what you just said, B. That's oi, and you're leaving. That's
Sorry.
gonna suck.
Just one more thing to add on to that. When we recently saw that they had the timing advance records, right, for Xana, she was one of the two that they got out of
Anna
that.
and Maddie, yeah.
That gives them more. Doesn't that give them more specific location? As soon as I saw that, I'm like, they know exactly where they were.
I agree.
They know where they were.
Why are we not told that? Why is that not coming out in a document? Why is that not in a report? Why is that not being spoken about at all? And going back to
why play it off for all this time that nobody knows where they were?
right, and it makes me wonder: are they covering up their location for a reason? Is that on purposely? Is that purposely being done to hide something?
Yeah.
Is that a target? Were they the target? Did they know that they were the target, and that's why that can't be put out because that will tell the story as to what actually happened?
Or does it go back to the CI thing?
That there you go. Yeah. And you're leaving. I didn't get to get that
Yes.
there.
Nobody wants to mention them. Nobody wants to talk about them being in the house that night.
Nope.
Nobody wants to talk about, it stops at Sigma Chi.
Yeah.
We're
Yes.
allowed to know that they were there, but then
that's
nothing else.
But then
Yeah.
that's
Right.
it. There's just poof.
That's where the story ends. You hit the roadblock and you can't turn left, right, or go forward any further. Real quick before you take off, B, the whole, I'm sure you've heard one of the victims was a CI. What are your thoughts on that real quick before we lose you?
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. They had CIs at Washington State that were sorority girls that
Right.
had been caught. So whenever all of that, there was talks about this and there wasn't a confirmation or anything, people were like, these are college students. Who do you think this is? And I'm like, you clearly have zero understanding of what goes on. And there was literally a CI at WSU, a
Right.
sorority girl that was caught selling drugs and turned CI so that she wouldn't get in trouble. So it is, to me, it's not surprising in the least.
Well, not to mention the contract that Moscow police had with Idaho University, where they had 7 officers, and we proved this, 7 officers that they put in place that had the ability to have confidential informants within all the sorority and fraternities. Okay. That just because it's within the sorority or fraternity doesn't mean that person is still not informing if they're not involved with the sorority or the fraternity anymore, is all I'm saying. So the odds that there's an informant living in that house are very, very, very high to me. I'll just say that. So,
Yeah.
I really appreciate your input on this. Like I said, I can't wait to have you back again. And I hope you understand all the mistakes that I had at the beginning of this. I'm so sorry to put you on
No,
hold.
it's totally fine. No worries. Things happen.
It
No,
was
not a
horrible.
problem.
Horrible. But thank you again so much. I hope you have an amazing
Yes,
rest of your
thank
night.
you.
We
Bye, guys.
appreciate
It
you
was nice
looking.
meeting everybody, and I'll see you
Bye,
guys
yeah.
later.
Take care,
Bye.
people.
for being here. Great
Nice to meet you.
conversation.
Have a great night.
Have
You
a
as
great
well.
night, Mandy. Bye-bye. All right, guys. That was great. I love listening to her. I love watching her channel and the things she puts out, especially during the Idaho stuff. She's really had some very interesting,
She got a brainy take on some things.
very much so. Yes. Very interesting. I'm glad you guys got to meet with her too as well.
Yeah, I
So-
love that. It's good to pick somebody's brain that we don't always get to talk to on a regular basis.
Yes.
Yes, for sure.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I guess for the rest of the show, guys, because we have some time to move forward with this, I wanted to jump into with the rest of these awesome peeps here, the Nancy Guthrie situation, guys. That is, I don't even know what to say about this one.
Yeah.
There's so much with this and such weird stuff going on, for lack of better terms. Again, so that's where we're headed. For those of you that have not been following the Nancy Guthrie case, Nancy Guthrie was abducted. I think it was January 31st into February 1st.
Yes.
Is that right? Okay.
Yes.
She is Savannah Guthrie from the Today Show. That's her mother. She's 84 years old. She does have some physical issues at 84 years old, but in the mind, she's very, very with it. She's all there, 100%, and then some. So, just to give a little insight into anybody that may not have followed this at all, which I doubt. I like to keep you guys up to date on things. And with that, guys, there's been so much going on. So much going on. Things that I guess I can't say I'm surprised, but I am. So Mikey had to step out for 1 second. Ladies, what are your thoughts thus far with the Nancy Guthrie situation?
I know it's kind of a reach, but I do think it's strange that every single time we see in the Nancy Guthrie situation is matching up to within minutes of the Idaho 4 times. And now we have a silver Range Rover as well. It's just, I mean, I know it's not connected or anything like that. It's just strange. The timeline is nearly the exact same.
Even the names, like when I read the name of the owner of the house and his last name was Green, everybody in the chat was like, it's Scott Green's uncle.
Right,
An
right.
8-hour delay until 911, not a delay, but it was 8 hours between this guy.
And who was Kim? What was the person that owned that house? If you remember, you told me last night that he was somebody of importance.
It's some like an attorney, some type of
The guy that owned the house?
What's up?
The guy that was he was the
attorney general or something.
Yeah. That's what it was.
And as
I
soon as
thought
I
it was
forget,
local though, like local.
yeah, I think it was the local, like what the hell is the lower name for that? He was some kind of a manager and then some kind of an attorney of some sort, I believe, from what I read.
Oh,
Still.
I speculated on something else.
That was it.
Very green. That's
when
it.
the
Very
Attorney General, I jumped on that fake news story.
Gotcha.
Okay,
Well,
sure.
it's not like that's hard to do.
Bear
Mike.
Green, yeah. Do you guys think that the ransom is real?
At this point, no.
Nope.
No,
I'm not
I
sure.
don't. I think it may have. I think it may have been in the beginning. Let me say this. I know it sounds dumb, but I think in the very beginning that it was like an idea, like let's try this and see what happens, and then it didn't work. It didn't work the right way, and so I think it was let go. I don't think it was something that was pushed seriously. But we also see that TMZ keeps getting these emails from and it's not from a kidnapper. It's not about a ransom. It's about somebody saying, I'm going to tell you who it is if you give me money.
Mm-hmm.
Which he's up to number 3 now. And this guy said after the second one, this is my last and final communication with you, blah, 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 so on and so forth. They upped the reward, I do believe it was. And then this guy they get another letter or another email that shows up, and now he's saying I think it was something along the lines of, if you put 50,000 in the account, I won't touch it until there's an arrest, and then you can drop the other, and I'll trust in the FBI to drop the rest of it in there, or something like that. And I'm thinking, what? These things just make no sense to me. It's this whole thing. Like, my wife called me earlier, and she was watching it while she was at work on the news. She goes, "Is this real?" I said, what are you talking about? She goes, "This Nancy Guthrie thing, is it real?" And I went, well, that's a good question, because I'm starting to wonder myself. I've never seen such bullshittery. Sorry. Go ahead, Logan.
So I played a clip yesterday, and it was, this ring of people were hiring teenagers and things to go commit these violent abductions, and then the ransom amount ended up, it's the same time as Nancy Guthrie. The ransom amount ended up being 66 million. And now in Nancy's case, it's 6. And I'm wondering if originally the ransom was true, and it's from this ring of people that are hiring other people, but then they all got in trouble after that. So they're looking for Red and 8, and maybe they were all, got in trouble. So originally the ransom could have been legit, but now that they all got in trouble, it could be just opportunists sending ransom stuff to try and collect on money on something they actually had nothing to do with.
That's really kind of what I thought too.
Yeah.
What do you mean I got in trouble?
I know the little kid, little kids, but the teenage kids that were doing the violent home abductions and ransoms, they were arrested. They didn't know each other. And then they've now told that the street names of the people that hired them are Red and 8. So I'm sure they're being looked at or followed at least by now.
Oh, gotcha. I got to look into that part of it more.
It'd be so wild to think that what the people surrounding this are that rookie.
But look at some of the actions, like the glove in the road. As soon as that glove was in the road, I'm like, this is not professional people. Like, I don't know. That's dumb.
Chris McDonough 2.0 right there.
I get why people
41
think
minutes in the house.
But at the end of the day, they're still not caught, though. They still don't have a clue what's going on. So it's like, to me, they just look comfortable. That's what they look like to me. Comfortable.
It's a real shit show.
I'm torn between like this small local group of perpetrators that like botched it up. Like maybe it was, like you were saying, like a plan to do a ransom thing. It's concerning to me because I've heard so many experts say that the ransom note's always immediate and this was later. So that kind of gives me concern about that. But I'm like, was that the plan? And then she didn't make it, and then they're like, oh my God, what do we do now? Kind of did they get themselves into a bad situation like that? Yeah.
If somebody did this and planned this to throw people off or the way they're doing a damn good job. I will tell you that.
Now, Sleuth Intuition pulled up, and it could have been other people too. I was just watching him at that moment, pulled up a picture of the person who owns that Range Rover. And I have never seen a picture that's closer than the one that he pulled up. And the guy's name, everything is alleged in our opinion only. The guy's name is Luke Daly. And that is the closest I've seen match the picture of the porch guy.
Interesting. Now, I heard that the guy with the Range Rover was possibly the brother of the 2 people they took out of the house. So they took out the mother and a son, and then was there a separate traffic stop? No, it was the person with the Range Rover that maybe they were just speculating, but it was a news person. It was a news person that was saying that could possibly be a brother.
Yeah,
very, very similar. Those eyes.
The eyes are, you ain't lying, Logan.
Yeah.
Like, even the eyebrows, you guys. If you look
and
look at the mustache, like remember what we saw through you're talking about the guy on the porch, right?
Well, we couldn't really see the nose through
but the mustache part, like, is what I'm saying. Like underneath it could fit because it's like a 5 o'clock shadow mustache. You know what I mean? Well, that's more like a 10 o'clock shadow, but I'm just saying, like
that bottom lip too.
Oh, yeah. This
Yeah.
is the absolute closest I've ever seen. It's
It
incredible.
is very close. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, and who, like, do you know anything about this guy, this Luke guy, Logan, at all?
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
I said, do you know anything about this guy, this Luke guy, at all?
Yeah, so I know that in the past he has been arrested for having the drug that starts with an F. He was arrested for having AK-47 type guns, those types of guns, and then
Oh.
handheld pistols like 9mm. So he is into bad crowd.
Bad stuff. Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. So that's interesting. Very
They
interesting.
took his car. I believe that car is in evidence because they were saying after they, and it's terrifying to think because they held up that what do I want to call it? They called it a tent. It wasn't a tent. It was a sheet. That yellow
Yeah.
sheet.
Mhm.
What was in there that we couldn't see?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe just anything. Could have just been the process, I guess. But
And they did state that they found DNA within inside the house that did not belong to Nancy, but they won't tell us who it belongs to.
well, you'd think they'd have been testing these people. That could be a pretty quick direct match, right? How long now do you think it takes for those to come back?
They should be able to do it like that in a situation like this. This is the FBI we're talking about. You know what I mean? Or unless the sheriff is still fighting him on everything, which still is another thing I wanted to talk about because that bothered the hell out of me.
Yeah. Quite odd.
Truly, like with the sheriff and him fighting and like wanting to send the glove off to a private lab and like what the hell, guys? Any thoughts on that at all?
And I understand we got a missing woman, but like, when is it standard you find a person of interest and you SWAT the house?
Right. Thank you.
I don't know. I mean, I guess.
It's a little wild. I mean, how many times have they taken people into custody now and then let them go within hours?
You will laugh that God, it was the lady that Nancy Grace always has on. I can't remember her name, but she was explaining. She was like, "Oh, they were getting along. Like the sheriff's office was like holding flashlights for the FBI guys." And I was like, that's the level we're at. Like, oh my goodness, come on.
That woman, is it Carol Leah something? She's an idiot. I'm sorry, folks, but yes,
That's the one she's best friends with Nancy Grace. She's always,
is that the same one that tried? I'm not even gonna go there. Forget it. I know who you're talking about, though. I know who you're talking about. What's up, CEO?
They both drink the same water.
Yeah, there you go. I wonder if they got a DNA hit. I wonder that too.
I just have a feeling that I don't think last night was a nothing burger. Like, I don't know.
No.
I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that something's going to come of that.
I mean, what do you think is going to happen tonight? Because everything I said this last night over there, because I went live with Kim last night for a little while, like everything happens at night. Okay.
Yeah.
All of this shit is happening at night. And last night was insane. Like there was talk about somebody being shot. Okay. And then I get a thing sent to me saying that it was actually, it was an auto accident. It just looked really bad. And I'm thinking, what?
Yeah.
Like how
two different things.
And another creator saw this, like came upon this as it happened and was like flipping out, took down their stream, blah, blah, blah. But it was a car accident. Come on, guys. Something's weird with this whole, the way it's being presented to us, the things that they are giving us, but the things that they're not. If you look at both sides of that, it's weird. It's just all strange to me. Every bit of it. Yeah. See, it was a car accident. It was a hit and run, supposedly. Okay.
But it could not, and they could not tell us, and we would never know the difference.
That's what I mean. And so how do you mistake somebody being shot for a hit and run car accident?
Well, it was in public, so. And what you're saying is someone that we know and watch was in public and came across it, and that was his interpretation of it. But on the news, they're twisting it to be an act. They're saying it was an accident, but that's not the way he described it with his own eyes.
And what you just said is what I think happens when there's something that's put out that they don't want put out a certain type of way. They change it up and put it out a different way. That's all. And I'm not trying to be a rabbit holer or a conspiracy theorist. But come on, think about that for a minute. Like if something like that did happen and it wasn't supposed to happen, of course, or they're trying to hide a situation. It was just a car accident, guys. I could see them doing something like that. That's all I'm saying.
It's all weird.
And apparently they told the media where they were setting up last night. So they told them like where to go, or they told the media where to go set up. But then after that is when nobody knew where they were going except Brian Enton.
And that's what I didn't understand. Like, who got the tip that they're going to go and swat a house?
Yeah.
How is he getting those tips?
Yeah.
I would be.
How did he get inside the perimeter?
If I was the family, I'd be so upset.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one.
Yeah.
And there was, oh, okay, yeah, that was from last night. I see what you're talking about, Bianca. Okay.
Did you see they were calling Harvey Levin a honeypot?
That's such a joke.
Very much ridiculous. Just regular. Let's see. Let me check the chat here. Make sure. I'm sorry, guys. I've been trying to keep up. And
did you check your last poll, buddy?
No, that's what I'm doing now. If I can get this to work right. I just lost everything. Sorry, you guys. So, well, let me ask the first question to you guys, and then we'll move from there. Do you guys think it's real?
Which part?
The whole thing, the kidnapping, every bit of it. Do you think it's a real abduction and so on and so forth?
She went someplace.
Do what?
She went someplace.
Oh, yeah, she's definitely not there. But do you think it's what they've told us it is, that Nancy Guthrie was abducted, being held by kidnappers? There was a ransom, but then there wasn't. All of that. Do you guys think it's true to form what they're telling us it is?
I do. I think there's parts about it that have either gotten messed up and it's seeming more suspicious than it is because maybe it was just a bad job and they're trying to go back and, backtrack. But the whole thing, I have to believe that it's real.
And I think it was a kidnapping. I think there was an abduction. I'm going to stop there because after that, I have no idea what the hell this is. I just don't. Oh, shoot, you guys. I know.
Yeah,
what
I feel like parts of it are true, but then I think there's parts that aren't true. I also think that it's possible that look how much crap they got for detaining the wrong guy and how much public scrutiny there was immediately. So are they just trying to avoid that? Maybe avoid getting sued by these people in case they're detaining the wrong person. And now the whole world thinks that this is a suspect. That whole thing. Is that why they're maybe avoiding what happened last night and saying it was a car accident or whatever else? Who knows?
And I thought on that too. It's like the first one, we saw all this crap. The second one, nobody's saying anything.
Right.
There's nothing out there but in exactly what Logan said.
Yeah. Yes. I agree. Thank you so much, Legendary, for that, brother. I appreciate you very much. Says 2 hours and no super chats. Well,
very nice.
You'll have that sometimes, but I appreciate that, brother, so very much, as I do appreciate you. God bless, bro. Very much. And real quick, guys, let's check this other poll I threw up. Is Nancy Guthrie still alive? That's a big question with this because it's weird. We haven't heard a word from the family. Not one word. Nothing. Okay. In what, 3 days? I think it's been 3 days now or more. I think the last thing was Savannah put up that video on Instagram showing when they were kids and said that she believes her mother's still out there. These are memories, blah, blah, blah. It's very sad to watch, but yes. So
I think probably not, because I think they have the pacemaker information, number one. Number two, they're not out boots on the ground searching for her.
Right.
They're searching for suspects, not a live person, in my opinion.
I agree.
Good point. I agree with you. Yes. So the answer to that was 43% said no, Nancy's not alive. 43% said I don't know, and 14% said yes. And I think we're kind of all in that same boat where most of us feel that she's unfortunately no longer with us, which is sad to me. I was hoping that this could end on a good note and she'd be okay. But unfortunately, it just didn't work out that way, I think. Thank you so much, Meg, for that. I just wanted to see my name on the big screen, she said. Well, you don't have to do that.
Meg.
There. Thank you, dear. Appreciate you. We all appreciate you and love you very much, Meg. Thank you. Very generous of you.
I think the family knows and understands that and is probably trying to come to terms with it because we haven't really heard too much from them. The last thing I think Savannah put out was just those memory pictures, right? So they're grieving.
Well, and I think it's kind of that bingo. Thank you, Kim, because that's what I was saying. Like if they probably know she's deceased now. That's why they're not making any public statements, so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I wondered if she was deceased, if they would come forward and make a statement about that. Do you know what I mean? Or if they're not allowed because of the investigation still going on.
Probably because of the investigation, and even the newest ransom notes seem to be more about finding the perpetrator, not about Nancy.
Yeah, definitely.
Nobody has gone back to the original ransom that the deadline ended on, right?
Right. I'll be right back.
It just went poof. Well,
Mm-hmm.
but
I think we have to keep in mind too that they as in like law enforcement, FBI, everybody, they know that the person involved in this or people involved in this are watching as well. So I think they have to be careful not to give things away as far as what their next steps are or what leads they have and things like that, because they're watching as well.
Yep. 100. I'd have to say last night, though, that everybody following around that whole SWAT thing last night, that was a shit show.
Crazy. Just what a mess.
I mean, people that want to watch it, but for real, like they're all posted up in a neighborhood, people walking around. Oh my God.
It was very, very, very ill organized, I'll say, in my opinion. I think they said that they blocked the roads off around 1.9 miles outside of the house itself. And somebody said earlier, and I agreed with them, about how it seemed like they were almost sending media like on a wild goose chase.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Like, you guys go over here because this is what's going on. And meanwhile, we're going to go over here and deal with the real situation or something. You know what I'm saying? Kind of, that's what it kind of took. I took it as too.
Yep.
That was crazy. Watching that last night. That was crazy. I have to say thank you to Meg too. She hit my channel up with a generous donation. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Awesome. I can't see it. I should have pulled that up on this side too, but thank you, Meg. Very sweet of you.
Yeah. I have learned don't trust Brian Enton because I literally listened to him live say, oh, I'm about 30 minutes away from Nancy's house. And that's why I wouldn't believe anybody that said they were like close to 2 miles. I'm like, no, Brian Enton said 30 minutes. And they were indeed about 2 miles away from the house. So
it's sneaky.
Yeah. I also think Brian Enton helped dupe the other media people because I was watching JLR and he knows who everybody is. I said this to you earlier off live, but when they were all in that Moreno neighborhood waiting, all the media was there. Like JLR was like, oh, that's Fox. Oh, that's CNN. Oh, there's Brian Enton. And I think Brian Enton went with all of them to this other location that was the wrong one. And then he snuck away when he got the call.
It makes perfect sense, Kim. It does. Truly and honestly, like I could see him, working with these people like, guys, look, I'll do whatever you want. I'll be your little,
And then he makes it into the area.
Meg. You did not have to do that. I appreciate you so much. You're so sweet.
Yeah, like you were saying, Mike, that he made it into he got inside the perimeter.
Yeah.
Like nobody else can do that.
He was just lucky, Mike. He was just lucky.
He's got a lot of contacts.
That's a lot of damn luck.
Mm-hmm.
I do have to give him credit because he was smart about it. I mean, he sat in his truck, he kept his lights off, he stayed back a little bit. I mean, well, I guess you could look at it as he was hiding because he wasn't supposed to be there.
Right.
But yeah, he wasn't trying to blow their cover, I guess.
Yeah, there's all sorts of weird stuff with this now. There's new videos coming out where they're showing people around the neighborhood. TMZ is pretty much the one responsible for all that. Where they're showing people like 8 days before Nancy was abducted, and this is somebody else walking around on somebody else's porch. There's somebody in somebody's backyard. This, and like they're connecting everything, and everybody's taking it as it's all connected as well. So, and again, there's
coincidental.
Zero. Say again, Kim.
It's too coincidental.
Mm-hmm.
Harvey Levin from TMZ, he's in the Epstein files, I heard. Does anybody know for what?
Surprise, surprise, surprise.
Didn't they say that what's her face was too?
Yes. Well,
he could be in there for working in the news. Is he probably got bought and paid to like kill stories? I bet.
Oh, probably.
You know what's back?
That's a
is
good
people
point.
say that 99% of that shit is redacted, but yet all these people's names are out there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
you ever think that was done on purpose?
Their names in the Epstein files.
What's crazy is earlier I was saying something about the times really match up with the same in Idaho. I'm not saying it's the same crime. I'm just saying the times add up. Now we've got a silver Range Rover, an 8-hour delay to call 911. We also have now a hit and run, which is crazy. And there was one more thing, but I just forgot about it.
It's almost like there's a script, right, Logan?
Savannah was Pi Phi.
Are you shitting me?
Nope, that's true.
She was.
And like I said, it's almost like there's a script that has to be followed for these things in some senses.
Weird.
Why do you guys want to know all this?
That's funny.
It's nuts. It's nuts. I don't know if anybody saw this. This was the third email that Harvey got over there at TMZ. I'm going to play this real quick for those of you that may not have heard this. I think all of us here did, but real quick, it shouldn't take long at all.
Worth $50,000. TMZ has obtained a third email from the man who claims he knows the identity and the location of Nancy Guthrie's kidnapper, and he has now upped his demand. We know it is the same person who wrote the other two notes because the Bitcoin address is identical. So he says that he is going through TMZ because he does not trust law enforcement. He's essentially saying, you don't trust me and I don't trust you. What he is suggesting is by the FBI upping the reward to $100,000, it was designed to discredit him. He says, quote, to discredit me. So what he is saying is,
I swear they upped that shit before that.
He wants one fraction of a Bitcoin worth $50,000. And for that, he says he will give up the name and location of the kidnapper. He says he will not cash that until the kidnapper is actually arrested. And then he expects the second Bitcoin fraction, another 50,000. So he wants the $100,000 reward, he says, but he wants it in this form and not simply coming forward to authorities. He has a variety of reasons on why he doesn't want to come forward to authorities, one of which is interesting. He says it's because that it could compromise his possible freedom. Now, we don't know what that means. Does that mean that he is peripherally associated with this kidnapper? He does not explain what that means, but he says it in this email. Now, there's something really important here that he says that when he gets the initial payment, and this is a quote, he will give up, quote, the name of the main individual, the main individual. So clearly he is suggesting, and he did insinuate this before, but he is saying it squarely here. The main individual, that means if this is legit, he has accomplices. So he does refer to the current state of Nancy Guthrie. We are not going to get into what that is. We have forwarded this on to the FBI. They asked for it, and we gave it to them. We received this email just before noon Pacific time, Friday, today. So again, the third email, he says this time, this is it, that it's his final time to approach anybody. The third time is it. Now, remember, he said that last time too, but he says he's coming forward now because of the increase in the ransom reward. And we will see. The authorities are looking at this, I guess, to determine if it's legitimate. We have checked this Bitcoin address, and so far, no deposit has been made.
This dude. Didn't they increase the reward 4 days ago?
I believe. I think so,
they
yeah.
did it right after one of the ransom notes, right? Yeah.
I think it was the second one, yeah. I think once, wasn't it after the guy got arrested for the fraudulent Bitcoin thing or whatever it was? Isn't that when they raised it, I think? I'm probably wrong.
February 12th.
Did to it, but I can't remember.
February 12th? When the fuck was that? 2 days ago.
2 days ago. So no, it was way after then. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you guys think about the be prepared to go international thing? Harvey thinks it's Mexico, probably because of them being so close to the border, but I think that could mean anything. Like they could have taken her out of the country per se. Now you couldn't do it through a standard airport, obviously, because people, I'm sure, and I think they said in Tucson they shut down the airport at that point, but it's been 2 weeks, you guys. Like, she could be anywhere at this point. If she's alive, they could have taken her anywhere, in my opinion. So, thoughts? You're muted.
Yeah.
Okay.
They just keep buying time.
Yeah.
Sorry, is that them going on this whole immigrant ICE thing? That narrative? Is that what they're trying to do slowly? I don't know.
That very well could be. That's a good point. I don't know.
Well, I thought it was interesting. Well, so first, this them saying that the note commented on the condition of Nancy.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. I still don't think it's a positive one, but that part of it. And then I should have said my first one. I have to come back. I forgot my other train of thought.
So is the raids and stuff they did last night and the people they supposedly talked to, were those the people connected to this glove that had DNA on it, or no? Because what is going on here?
That's the thing, is they're not. Thank you for asking that question, because they're not really telling anybody. They're just doing these things like with no preempt, and they're just like,
or was
we're gonna go do this. You know what I mean?
Or was that the DNA that they found in the house that supposedly wasn't Nancy's?
Right.
And it's like, okay, bro.
For all we know, that was the extra blood on the damn sheets in Idaho. I'm just saying, they're not telling nobody shit.
The talking heads on TV are making it seem like it would take more time for the DNA to come back with information for them to use
on the glove.
So it was probably more maybe cell phone data, maybe looking at people, vehicles, things like that in the area over, because we know and they've also been going door to door, knocking and talking to people and looking at all the business video footage. So
right.
I'm thinking it's something from that.
Yeah, it almost makes you think of the cell phone data.
Mm-hmm.
Is it possible for them to take Nancy's phone and walk around and try and get it to connect to her device?
I heard someone else say that. That is a fascinating idea. Or walk into that house, right? You know?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
You're doing it again, Logan. Quit.
That's crazy. Sometimes.
That's a really good question. Shit.
Yeah. You're just walking up and down streets waiting for it to connect.
Because wouldn't it connect whether she's alive or not?
Well,
wouldn't it? I don't even know how that works, so don't mind me.
Doesn't it have to be connected to the Wi-Fi it was set up on, or no?
I think it would have to be on Wi-Fi. Well, I don't even know if it has to be Wi-Fi. It just has to connect to the app.
Right.
Oh, yeah, okay. I thought it had to be set up through the actual Wi-Fi that it was running.
Well, because then we get into, well, if it had to be connected to Wi-Fi, then it wouldn't work anywhere else she went. Like that doesn't make sense. So I would think it would be just the device then, which I would assume would be her phone.
So that doesn't make any sense then.
Okay.
With that being said, in this whole deal, go back to the phrase that was stated with the pacemaker thing. It was disconnected.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't have to be connected to the Wi-Fi or anything. Where does it become disconnected? when it's taken out? Or something that provides something to power to it, like a heart, it would become disconnected.
You're muted, Dago.
No, I think what you're thinking, it doesn't need to be connected to anything like that to run. It can still work. Okay. What happened was it disconnected from the app from her, like when her phone left the Wi-Fi, or when she left the Wi-Fi area, I should say. I'm sorry. Then it disconnected from the app through her phone is what happened.
But like Logan was, so let's say that we don't have a cell phone. How would that be possible? If you left your cell phone at home and you wanted to go for a walk down the road, would it disconnect?
It would disconnect from the app.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It would still work inside her. It's not powered by that. It's just, it would dick. Jesus,
It's
sorry.
not
guys.
feeding information. It's not feeding the data to the app.
Right. So,
but I understand what Mike's saying. That could happen. I mean, if the pacemaker stops working, that's also, it's going to disconnect
like that was
from the app.
This information, like, okay, cool.
Oh, yeah, okay. I see what you mean now.
You told us it disconnected from the app because she was away from her phone?
Right.
Sweet. Thanks.
No, I get what you meant. I thought you were asking if it would shut down and stop working because it disconnected from the app. But no, I was
trying to figure out what was behind the whole word of disconnect.
Well, I mean, the whole point of that machine is to keep her alive, to keep her heart. So even if she was terrified and stressed out and that had an impact on her heart, that machine is going to
keep it
give a shock and keep her going. So,
and the problem is that they cannot like monitor it now. So, but I also wonder though, you guys, now that Mike said what he said, so if say for instance they took her, no, it would have to be through her phone though. I was gonna say, could they still pick up like the monitoring service of the pacemaker if she walks into another Wi-Fi signal? But you have to have the app close to the pacemaker for it to work. So okay, yeah.
I think maybe they were just trying to prove a point that she was not by her phone, huh?
Yeah, that the phone was left behind and she was gone and taken.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was a way to get a timeline, to get a timestamp of when they can be pretty confident she must have left the house.
Yeah. So in other words, anytime she's out of her home and not connected to Wi-Fi, it can't register info. So they have to keep her phone off of that makes sense. SRB. I see what you're saying. It's wild. It is wild. It is wild. It is wild. And I'm really curious. Like, okay, let's go in this direction real fast. So just at a guess, because I know we can't really give an true answer to this question, but how do you guys think this may end? Just out of curiosity. We can all be wrong, but what do each of you guys think the ending to this is going to be? Possibly.
Kim?
Oof.
I don't want to answer.
All right. It's the movie scene. They find the right house. They break in the door. They get the bad guy and they find Nancy comfortably sitting in a rocking chair in the back room and they bring her out alive and the whole world cries with happiness.
Because remember, didn't they take her medication with them?
I was going to bring that up and I forgot. Thank you for saying that. Yes. At least that's what we're made to think now, because when Lana read the warrant for Carlos, Palazuela, is that how you say it? Something like that. Okay.
Like that.
The guy that they detained and let go and trashed his house and all that stuff, guys. So when they read the warrant, it stated in that warrant that they were looking for victims' medication,
medical equipment,
so on and so forth. They told us in the very beginning that her medication, her phone, and all this other stuff was left at the house.
And she needed it to survive, so she could only last a day or two.
Right. So what the hell are they looking for it somewhere else for?
How nice of a kidnapper to kidnap somebody and make sure and gather all the stuff they need to take them with them.
Sure
you want a pillow too?
I mean, I get like keeping her alive, but who's really taking the time to like go through the medications?
41 minutes. 41 minutes.
Or they lied to us and they really did take her stuff.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm sitting here thinking, like visualizing, okay, Nancy, what all do you need to go on a trip?
Yeah.
Well, I need this, that, this, and this, and my walker, and hell, make a sandwich too. Jesus Christ, guys, like a true kidnapping, in my opinion, is not. They're not nice people. Okay, they're just not.
Give a shit.
It's like taking Logan and be like, hey, you want to leash up Bronx real quick?
Yeah.
Would you want to go take a shower first and
what's your favorite snack? Make sure you got your coffee.
Thank you.
Food.
It's the strangest shit ever. But on the other side of that, if the point is to keep her alive and healthy and all that, to get something out of the situation, sure, I could see that. But to go to the extreme of actually grabbing medication, medical devices, which that could be a wheelchair, that could be like a CPAP machine that she needs to sleep every night, that could be all sorts of different things, guys.
Oh, yeah.
So that seems like a lot for somebody to go through to do this. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's weird. It's very, very, I can't even think of another word to say. I know I keep saying how weird it is, but it is.
I think it's interesting. You said Lana got the warrant for Carlos.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I heard today that what they served last night was a federal search warrant and they have sealed it.
On the one last night. Got you.
She got the one from Carlos because Carlos sent her a copy of what they left with him.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's how she got it. I'm sorry.
Gotcha.
I should have clarified that. My apologies, you guys. It just doesn't fit or make sense to me. So, and going back to what my question was to you guys, Kim's answer was like the movie script, because this is almost playing out like a movie script, you guys. It truly is. It's got the action, the adventure, the drama, the suspense, the mystery. All of this stuff is wrapped up in this. It's insane. So my opinion is I'm gonna be different with this, but I feel like she's deceased. I feel like for some reason this is gonna go cold, and it's just gonna kind of fade out of the news and just disappear, and that's the end of it. In a year or something, they're gonna come out and say, "This is what happened." That's it. And it's hard to believe, but I feel like that's maybe how this ends and how this goes.
Yeah,
Mikey.
I feel like it's two different things, or it's almost like whoever originally planned this, they planned for the diversion of the ransoms. It was never even connected to it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
It makes sense. Miss Logan.
How it's gonna end, I feel like I want to say it's going to be some sort, like Kim said, some sort of dramatic, they've got her, she's alive, she's just been in a tunnel somewhere and they've been keeping her alive with the bare minimum, and she's going to come out wrapped in a blanket with a scrape on her face, and
yes, or we could change the ending on this, okay? Or they'll find her wandering in the streets of Arizona somewhere, confused and distraught and all wore out and starving and like, okay, and they'll
find her and pick her up and carry her down the street. Or they're just going to find who did it, arrest them, and get Nancy back probably privately. Like,
I wonder how many more houses they'll break up.
Wherever she's at.
That's the
Yeah.
point. Yeah, Mike. How many more warrants and raids are they going to serve on this shit and roll the SWAT team, the bomb squad, the FBI rescue team? All these teams have been rolling on this thing every other day.
Well, I think they're talking about another one tonight. I don't know. I have to get on and watch.
Oh, I may have to go live on that one, depending on if the boss lady's awake or asleep. But yeah, just to see, because it seems like it's a nightly. Oh, okay. Episode 23 of the Nancy Guthrie series is on again. You know what I mean?
Man, I swear, as the days go on, JLR is getting loopier and loopier every day.
I don't know how he does it. He's out there day and night, just. And a lot of time, like, it's super boring most of the time. So,
Inspector Gadget.
Yeah, it's funny because you'll be. What's killing me about JLR is like I'll cut to something and he's like pops out of the bushes. Guys, I'm here in front of Annie Guthrie's house and the police are back again. I don't know what they're doing in there, guys. Could this be the break of the case?
Come on.
Could it be?
I like JLR, but you have a good impression of him.
I mean, it's what he does, and he'll just like we've all seen the meme of Homer Simpson like sliding into the bushes, you know. That's what it reminds me of. You'll see him, he's always standing next to a bush or a tree, and he just pops on.
You know, I'll never forget the one where he was sitting in getting the continental breakfast, and he's got the burnt toast, and he's sitting there. Brian Koberger is toast.
Yes, and he shows it to you. He likes to point it at all the stuff he talks about. I don't care what it is. Like, it's a pen, guys.
I think it's funny that somebody will come up to talk to him and he'll be like, "Oh, just a second," and then he will never get back with them. Like, oh, okay, what were you gonna say? No, he'll be like, "Just a second," ignored for the rest of my life.
Or he talks to these, and everywhere he goes. I remember when we were covering, Mike, you were here for this one, and I think Kim might have been in the background for like early on, but when we covered the Cavalcante case, the manhunt for Cavalcante, okay, I was live like 20 out of 24 hours, folks. Just I stayed live on it. Everywhere this guy goes, somebody you can hear these conversations like, "Hi, I watch your show and I love you. And here's a case of free water and a cake I baked for you, and you can come stay with me if you want to."
He slept at some woman's house.
Yes.
He always does it. Porch and
Don't judge. There were people doing that last night. Like, one guy came out of his house and he goes, "My friend from Ohio just texted me you were live. So I came out here." And there were people coming. They were driving from blocks away to go say hi to him. But I don't know. I like that. That's funny.
It's wild. But
dude has no fear.
Yeah, we wouldn't get the footage if it wasn't for him and others. There's others that do it too.
And he irritates me. Everybody knows that, and he does that to a lot of people. But the man has always, on these manhunts and cases like this, he's always there. He's always live, and he's always told everybody, please stream it, share it, do whatever you can. Everybody has access to it. He's always there.
Presently Rich investigates.
Yeah. I just can't get past the whole him popping out of shit like all the time.
It is funny.
JLR, folks, here at the scene. He is always on. I swear to God, he's got some kind of a flipping time machine or something, because the dude could be on one end of the country and something happens the next day, he's there.
Yeah.
No matter where it is, he's there.
I got to figure out why he kept having to return his rental cars. Like, why is it? Because he thought maybe it would end and he didn't want to get one for a week. Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, Bianca. Breaking news. We're on You gotta love it. You gotta love it. Like I said, you got to give him credit, guys. You cannot not do it. And everybody, it's weird. I've turned on multiple channels. Ickmail, what is it? Tucson Live, multiple other channels. Yeah. They're all using him.
Dude had,
live with, so
dude had almost 90,000 people in chat last night.
Yeah, it was crazy.
No mods, it's just rolling.
I don't think he looks at it. He doesn't look at it.
Yeah, I mean, the man does his thing. He's probably one of the best as far as boots on the ground. true to form and all credit given. He has to be one of the best as far as boots on the ground goes.
Be interesting. Go look at that site and look at those numbers.
Yeah, right. Right. All right, guys. I think that's gonna probably be it for today. I want to thank you guys for putting up with all my mishaps with this. I'm so sorry, you guys, once again. To Logan, Kim, Mikey, I apologize again
I'm
for
going to tell you my problem.
making all these. We'll talk about it afterwards, but for
My
sure.
slider was down on my headphone volume.
Oh, really?
Well, yep.
Well, like I said, I came in here 30 minutes before this was supposed to start and started getting things set up, and I had no internet signal. And I'm like,
oh, shoot.
and I looked over, my modem was blinking, and I'm like, what the hell? I've never had a problem with this internet since I got it, of all days. So I started messing with that, and then I called Spectrum, and I did this and did that. They're like, your internet's fine. It's working. Everything's good. Everything's on. I said, no, it's not. And I'm working. I have a show to do in like 20 minutes. So that's where the delay was. That's why. And then I looked in here, and Brady's sitting in the backstage, just sitting there, and I'm like, she can't hear me talking to her. None of us. I'm like, oh my god. So next, and then all the intro stuff went wrong. Everything went bad. So I promise you guys next Saturday or next week.
I haven't confirmed that yet, so we're not too sure yet on next Saturday.
Right, but we're working on another one. It should be very interesting if it all goes through. I'm not going to tell you who it is until we get it confirmed, but we will be back again, same time, same place, same faces, +1. I'm not going to tell you who for sure yet because we don't know, but I want to thank Logan, Miss Kim, and Mikey again and Mikey again. Seriously, he produces my channel, guys, but he helped me really put this together. This was his idea, his baby, his brain game, whatever you want to call it. And helped to make it happen. And I appreciate you, brother, for everything. I want to thank Molly, my videographer, for helping put the videos and stuff together. And Logan and Kim, thank you for the parts that you guys had in it again. Very much. I'm looking forward to doing this regularly, guys. And I hope you guys liked this. Please make sure to hit the like button in all the channels if you can. I think the mods have been dropping links left and right. And make sure you spread the word and let everybody know the Verdict Room Unfiltered. I think it's a great show. I think it's going to be an awesome thing. I really enjoyed this. I really enjoy the conversations we can have. So I'm looking forward to the next one.
This was so much fun, so informative, great conversation and discussion. Yeah, I really like this. Thank you for having me be a part of it.
And thank you, Miss Kim.
Great idea, Mike.
Make sure you guys subscribe to Typically Unique, if you will. Please and thank you. I swear you'll be so.
And Booking with B.
Yes, and Booking with B for sure. And again, make sure you subscribe to Bronx Tales True Crime with Miss Logan. I promise you will be highly disappointed there if you don't, for sure. And
welcome, Hangmans. Thank you for being a believer.
Did Mike jump down already? Did he fall out the window?
He fell out the window.
Well, make sure that you guys subscribe to the LAST24. I don't know what happened to you, Mike, but okay. If you will, if you haven't, you need to, because you should. But thank you to all the moderators and all the channels. You guys are amazing. Nothing but love for all of you. All your hard work. You guys are amazing. And I hope
that's for all the channels. Thank you, mods. Yes.
Yes, all of you. Every one of you guys. You guys are amazing. And none of us could do this without you guys. And we know that you guys support us the way you do. And all of you guys, all of you community members. I don't like saying subs, but to all of these communities, absolutely, none of us would exist without you. I hope you guys all realize how important you guys are to all of us. And guys, don't forget to love yourselves and love each other. And please don't change a thing. As I always say to you guys, are the beautiful people, and we love and appreciate you all so very much. You guys have an amazing night.
Very much. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for coming through to the verdict room where we're seeking truth. Yeah, we're seeking truth. Hey. Last 24, they rewind it. True crime heads go find it. Breaking every angle, every track. Bronx telling tales keeps us on track.
Theory back, then replace facts. Looking for the motive in the cracks. Red yarn on the board, then it snaps. Voices in my ear through the week till they hit play. Then we speak. Files on the table, case on the line. They don't just tell it, they define.
Welcome to the verdict room, where we're seeking the truth, looking for answers, bringing the facts to you. They break it all down at Dago's Cafe seats, working together, throwing revelations at your feet. From the Bronx to the world, let it ring. Every missing little detail that they bring, dropping that gavel when they're done with the beat. Thanks for tapping in. See you next week. Welcome to the verdict room, where we're seeking the truth, looking for answers, bringing the